And we're live, and it's Sam and Richard at the moment. And yeah, I'm just gonna go to screen share here. Yeah, so we've come in through the Agile Ventures Hangout today. Did you? I guess I should have. Now, which route did you come in through then, Richard?
Probably the email.
Yeah, and I think the first email I sent just had a link directly to the Hangout, so you probably clicked on
Well,
that.
here's what I did. I don't think I clicked. Oh, no. Yeah. All I did, I clicked on the Agile Ventures links.
Oh, right. So did you come to this page?
Yes.
Ah, and did you
Oh,
click?
no. Sorry. Yes. Because I'm looking at my email. And I got to get back. So, because I came this different way. Okay. Did I come to this page? Shoot. Teleconference 27, 22.
Yeah, I mean,
I came to a page that said teleconference.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, I'm just switching back and forth. Yeah, that looks like what I got to.
Yeah. So I mean, what I ended up doing is just to show some of the features of the Agile Ventures site is so one, I created the Hangout, and I started the Hangout through this page, which is convenient for
Right,
me.
right. And you know what, Sam? I think I take it back because I was. You see where it says event is live? Click to join. That's what I clicked.
Oh, you did? Yeah, great. Then
Yes,
so
yes.
so this is precisely the piece of functionality that Google Plus does not provide.
Got it. Yeah.
Right, and you've
I was a
commented.
little bit surprised because I was a couple of minutes early, and I
Right.
was like, and when it said it's live, it's like before I looked around anymore. I said, well, since it's going on, let me join.
Right. This is the thing is, yeah, the Google Plus doesn't provide this, and this is our now. So actually, it's also got the link down here. I mean, we've actually got another pull request coming through to clean this up and make it look nicer. But I think we've got the critical functionality. The other thing is that actually, do I have it on a oops? Do I have preview up here? Look at the file recent. If it doesn't have open recent, yes. Did I have a screenshot? Yeah, see, this is me going through. This is our process of me telling developers different things about what it should be doing and shouldn't be doing. But yes, so what it looks like at the beginning is it has this starter Hangout on Air button, like this, and so what it means is that in principle, so next week I'm not going to be here at this time. In principle, if I made this a repeating event, then next week, any of you could start it by clicking Starter Hangout on Air.
Got it. So basically the first one in the room can turn on the lights and.
Right, exactly. The interesting thing is that if you do click start, then you kind of take responsibility for recording it and making sure the recording goes well. So it's although of course it's not it's not a legal requirement that every meeting is recorded, but yes, but this is the critical functionality that we don't have in Google Events is one, that it can repeat, so it's like upcoming schedule.
Yeah.
Two, that anyone could start it. And three, that once it's started for a public one, it will actually provide a link that you can click through. So we get a number of things that make it potentially easier to run meetings. We're still continuing to improve and massage the interface into shape.
The recording aspect of it is separate, right? There's nothing sort of built in or special with Agile Ventures.
No. Well, what we do have set up is that when you click this link, we on the Agile Ventures. I mean, the recording thing is that's functionality that's provided by Google. But what we've got here is that by default, anytime you start a Hangout through Agile Ventures, it switches it into the type of the on-air Hangout that can be recorded. Because in a lot of other places where you start it, it can't be recorded, and you can't add that functionality afterwards. So it just ensures that the ability to record is always there. So that's kind of handy.
Yes. I know what you're talking about. I have only experimented with that a little bit in all my sort of years of playing around with this, but I know I got it.
Yeah. So I mean, those are and so we could, at one level, we could just be, if we in future, if we agree on a time and date, which is something that we need to do, although again, that's just you and me. I'm not sure that we're. I mean, I guess maybe I need to canvass people. I think if other people are like me, then the upcoming schedule is not completely clear for after the break. Yeah, so there's that. What I also did was I sent around this. So we also have like we have the same functionality for just handling notes and minutes and things in here as we do in the previous site, which I'm now. Do I have that still up somewhere? No. Let's go and put it up.
Yeah, and I opened them both. I did open them both. Just
actually, I do have it over here. Here it is. Boom, 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 boom. Let's have that over here. Yeah. So they're sort of separate things. Clearly it's confusing if we try and use both of them. I just thought I would set up a kind of a copy in terms of showing what we could do. I mean, in principle, the other thing that we get, if we're using the Agile Ventures for the notes, I think it may be easier for people to log in and actually edit these pages, because that's something that you've reported in the past, is having problems getting that to work. And I don't know, did you go to this page? Are you actually able to log in to the Agile Ventures?
That's, let me see. Like I said, I was planning to do this, and then when I saw it was live, I just started. So okay, let me just try my UNCC email first.
Well, I don't know if you created an account. You can just log in through GitHub. That's I think the particular advantage.
Is that the preferred way?
Totally. I mean, we would. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the big things for the Agile Ventures site as a whole is the all of the login. I think we support G+ login and separate logins, but GitHub. But I would just say for convenience for everyone, just use the GitHub one, and then you don't have to create a password. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that, and you just log in with your GitHub password.
Okay, so as I'm doing that, probably could do.
You can screen share so I can see what you're doing.
One side would like permission, so I authorize. Wants public data only. And now it just brought me to the Agile Ventures homepage.
Right. Yeah. So if you now go to for example, the teleconference page, which is the notes page.
I could probably do that just with a back.
You could, in principle, if you were on that page previously. Yeah. And
let me just it's saying log in, but let me refresh. Maybe it knows I'm logged in now.
Well, I think by hitting back, it
worked just as I thought.
Okay.
I just back and refresh.
Back and refresh. So now you should probably be able to see, like I do, this thing, but with like your little avatar and your name at the top of the page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm on that page. The avatar.
Editing? Go on.
What? The avatar. I see what you're saying. Just next to the name.
Yeah.
I got something goofy there. And then if I click edit, and then okay, and I assume you can see that I just added it right before the ellipsis.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
refresh my page? Yeah. So.
Right.
So I mean, I not that people, obviously people, you were able to edit this one last week, but I think it's I don't know. We'll maybe like try it out with other people as well. As I said, the Agile. I mean, we get like nicer URLs. I mean, the beta starters one is still kind of like sitting on a Google site and so on. This has a degree of anonymity, whereas with Agile Ventures, there's a whole series of different projects going on, and interested parties, might be crawling around to look at these things and so on. Anyway.
Well, here's my question in all this. I'm like totally fine with whatever, because if it's something new, I'll learn something.
Right.
And if it's something old, fine too. But so in some ways, whatever, like sort of your gut feeling, whatever's easiest for you would fine. My other question though is where might this fit in with me using it with students?
Right. Yes, that's an interesting question, actually.
Clear to me.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't particularly been thinking of this for as a tool that instructors would be using with students. Although it is something that well, actually, we've been using it with the MOOC students for having them participate in projects, and
Okay.
so in principle, I mean, as a project system, there would be nothing in principle to stop you from using this system as a system to help your students manage their projects. Um, I don't know that that's necessarily. That's not to say that we should rush ahead and do that necessarily, but
Right.
the things that it's sort of, it's designed as an open source project incubator, so it
Okay.
provides, a place to have a slightly more fully featured wiki than GitHub provides, in that you can embed documentation and it's got chat and discussions and so on. It sort of assumes by default that you're going to have your code on GitHub and that you're going to use Pivotal Tracker. I mean, we're using the same things that the edX 169 course recommends as our project management tools,
Right.
and we have an activity feed for the project, and videos of the projects are recorded, and you see a member list of the projects, and you've got your
Okay, so
documents.
let me tell you. So again, just because it's only me and you here,
Yeah.
uh, my issue this upcoming semester, I'm not teaching the project course, and
No.
my
Right.
and I just I'm just struggling just to like teach the guys the basic software
Yeah.
material.
Okay. So it sounds like you wouldn't need it,
For
but
this
that's fine.
semester, the
Yeah.
project stuff, but what I is not as relevant for me personally.
Yeah. Right. Right.
It's going to be relevant for practically everyone else. So I think it's a
Yeah.
worthwhile question whether to encourage people to go this way.
Yeah.
My other issue though is I would like to be able to hold sort of online help sessions and
Right.
like
Right.
have like a Google Hangout that was see having it repeatable at a particular time, that also has an advantage, just like what we're
Mm,
saying over
mm,
the basic Google Plus functionality. And the other thing that I tried to have with Google Plus is just like an ongoing, like an open, like
hmm.
come whenever you're doing work and you want to join, just
Yeah.
and the way I did that is I set an event that was like at the end of the semester,
Yeah. And then you just started it. Yeah.
and then people in theory would just
Yeah.
start Hangout link whenever they were there. The
Uh,
problem is that it doesn't hardly ever gets used.
no.
No
Sure.
one initiates it, and I can either figure out a way to force it more, or
Yeah.
another idea is to say, hey, look, this is not an ongoing thing, but at Tuesday at 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
I or TA is going to be on.
Yeah.
Why I've resisted that is that to the extent we've tried that, even for office hours, a
Yeah.
lot of the times you're just sitting there doing nothing.
Sure.
No one's in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that. Yes. I mean, so I think in terms of yeah. So for the project thing aside, yeah. I mean the events functionality is something that you might be able to make use of. I mean, I think actually going back to the project thing, yeah. I mean, I think I wouldn't necessarily be at this stage advising people to start using the project tools. It would be more, well, why don't we all use it for a bit for
Yeah,
our bigger scale project of us coordinating with each other, and then we see, and if people then felt, like next year they were like, oh, actually, I kind of have got, we'll be continuing to improve and polish the system. If people were then like, oh, I would, I know I'm comfortable, familiar with this, my students might like it, that would be another
yeah,
discussion we could have or something.
yeah. That's good. And I think, I mean, as I went on and as I was like sort of talking too much, I think we sort of worked out that this is not adding really that much for student stuff yet. So that's fine.
No, I think for the projects. Although I think for the events thing, I mean, in principle, to have a repeating event for MOOC office hours, that does make some sense. And I actually did use the system to support, kind of the MOOC office hours, which we ran every Wednesday
Okay.
throughout the system. Although I was still, actually, to be honest, I was still registering that in Google Plus and just repeating it each week, for want of. But I think, probably next time around, I would. I may well switch over to Agile events for that,
Okay.
to have, because they're repeating things, and with that one, with the office hours, it's less important to allow anyone to start it. Although if in your situation, like it's you and some TAs, and you wanted it repeating, and you wanted for you, like, for whoever of you was there and available, like you or one of your TAs, you wanted that flexibility. You can't currently get that from G+. So you could currently get that from this system. Although the way this system works is designed to make these events, to publicly notify people. So it's not really set up for kind of private office hours, if you know what I mean. Like
Right.
that's something that we could maybe
And it's even,
enable in
the
future.
other thing that I would like to see happen is students themselves, like, just saying, hey, I'm working on it, log in,
Yeah.
and then, and then collaborate with each other.
Yes.
And
Oh,
help
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, the other thing you're talking about there about having like kind of a session that people could just drop into and just use, we did have that on the part 1 of the MOOC this time around, and I think it got used a little bit. I met some people in there. I just found, like, for me, I was kind of having it on in the background. After a while, I just couldn't, handle the level of interruptions. We had trained a number of TAs, and we were asking TAs to kind of monitor it and be available there. Although I think many of the TAs were kind of intimidated about making themselves available to students. We called that Help Desk Hangout, and that's something that we could enable in your, like, in fact, actually, if I make a copy of this course, as I will do soon, for your Spock, you'll naturally get this Help Desk Hangout.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah, so if that's even working anymore. Goodness me. Yeah, that's interesting here. Help Desk Hangout appears not to be. Anyway, I was sort of excited about the possibility of that. I think, yeah, anyway, it's interesting that now does not work. I mean, that was like Google and what's the name? Google and edX, have got some sort of like very minor, tenuous collaboration going on, and the result of it in the first instance was this thing. And what do I want now? I want the pages, don't I? Which is to provide this Help Desk Hangout, which I think is an interesting idea. Let's have a look at the HTML there. Yeah, so that's this, but it looks like, so I mean, and that's actually kind of that's a standalone thing on GitHub that Google's provided. But I wonder if that has been, well, it hasn't been updated. This is what you're supposed to do, right? But this is, if we get this working again, this would be something that would be, would provide some of the functionality that you wanted.
Yeah.
One of the frustrating things about this one is it didn't set up for recording. Oh, so it is downloading some JS. But so I think maybe also what may have happened there is that what cannot sometimes happen. Do we have an option to view this live? We don't, which is really, I'll go there. Is that edX will have changed something on their side, and right. As a result, it will have stopped working, which is kind of the irritating things that happens. Yeah. Anyway, but that's all interesting stuff to discuss. Is there any, I guess, other business or things that we should go over?
Not particularly. Other than I was interested in hearing how Janet was doing.
Yeah. Although she's obviously not here right now. Yeah.
What I expect is, once I start getting on my sort of in my pre-semester preparation, I'll start using the email list and send some emails and see if anyone wants to engage in some suggestions and discussions for some of the issues that I'm sort of curious to brainstorm on,
right.
but that we don't need to deal with now. There's one thing I was going to ask. Oh, and then another thing that I have yet to do. This is I was looking for some good supplementary material, and there was, I think we talked about it, the RSpec book as being like sort of a good resource.
Yeah.
And I've just skimmed through it, and I wanna like sort of gets, seriously look through that and maybe take some notes and maybe create some sort of lecture or supplementary stuff. And so if there's anything like that, if that's like, if there's something better to be looking at, I'm always interested, or something different.
I think this is really good. I really like it. I think that the criticism that it came in for was that the part of it that where it goes to Rails is now kind of getting out of date. And I think, I mean, in some ways it was like really great like a couple of years ago, but it's see, this is like RSpec 2, and RSpec 3 is now out, and although actually for our course, we're still on RSpec 2, so it's okay. Yeah, I'd say you could do a lot worse than this.
Okay. And if there's anything that you think would be sort of better, because I mean, part of this came from, my buddy Keith Lane, who, the grumpy guy. I haven't spoken to him in too long, but he felt that, and I'm not in a position to defend or whatever, but having sort of read some of these first-hand source material, he did not love the way that, the sort of the summary takeaway that Armando and Dave pulled from it. He felt that they had it a little bit wrong from what, and I can't defend that, but Keith is a thoughtful guy that is, not afraid to express his opinion. So I sort of wanted to, use this as a way to just maybe get a little bit more of a breadth of understanding.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and I think, Armando and Dave are also clear that they're taking, an opinionated stance. And I think that of course the other thing is that, there are, I've been working with these Makers Academy students for the last 10 weeks, and they're all like desperate to know, like, what is the industry standard on this? And the thing is like all these programmers are opinionated people, and there's like, I think that the interesting thing is there's a lot of different opinions. Particularly the DHH, TDD is dead things recently.
Right, which I listened to, and I, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but I did find it very, very interesting.
Yeah. So I think that there's, I'm also at odds with Armando and Dave on some things, but I think it's that's natural. I think. But yeah, and also the Maker students were all asking me for book recommendations. There was, I've just added to the Spock, sorry, not the Spock, the MOOC, so the bonus videos for the. I think one of the things that you might do at the beginning of the course is, I think it's ironic that this comes at the end of the MOOC. One of the things that you might do is show to your students this video of this young woman, Jessie Toth, who she did the UC Berkeley course, and she went to work for Pivotal Labs, and then she went to work for ModCloth, and then she now currently works for GitHub. And she gives she's basically giving advice to the UC Berkeley students about the stuff that she wished that she had known when she had done the course. And it's, she also recommends a couple of books on Ruby that I think I also see other people recommending. I'll paste the video link into the chat there for you. But in particular, she recommends practical objects for Ruby by Sandy Metz, who I haven't read the book, but I've seen some talks by Sandy Metz, and I'm quite impressed with her description of how to deal with testing. So that's the website book, and yes, Sandy Metz at the Rails conference last year gave a very great talk on the Rails.
Right. I think it's clear, but to just be explicit, my high level rationale for this is not so much like complaining about the Berkeley stuff, but I think that Armando and Dave have done a really nice job in the video lectures in a way that I don't see myself like hardly even summarizing. There's some topics I could pick out and talk about as a lecture and expand on more, but I don't see like redoing or outdoing them, because I think there's is chock full, and people can
Hmm.
stop and start. So I'm sort of stuck trying to figure out, well, what can I productively do
Hmm.
in my classroom
Sure. Yes,
as an adjunct?
which comes back to this flipped classroom thing of
Exactly. I was just about to
actually,
say that, which is why I'm sort of curious, especially to see what those guys, Armando, and the Berkeley people, and anyone
well,
else
yeah,
is doing. That's
Armando talking about flipping his classroom in, but I think that won't be until January 2015. So,
right. But what
yeah.
thoughts do they have, and any tools? And I'm happy to
Yeah. Oh,
this
sure.
out.
Yeah. I don't have that information. I think what you might want to do is email Armando and maybe CC the Beta Sauces list if
Right,
you can get
exactly. And
that
that's
information
what I'm
out of them.
talking about is those sort of brainstorming kind of emails. I even put that in, like how to use the classroom and a couple of
Yeah.
other things are I
Yeah.
like big issues that
Cool.
I still struggle with the same ones that I had. That was the same issue that I had right when we started.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think at this time, this would be a good time to write an email and put all
Yeah,
those things in there, and send it to Armando, but CC the list,
yeah,
and
yeah,
maybe try and start a discussion, because I
yeah.
think Armando has got some, a little bit of more, because he's not actively running a course now, and he might take the bait, and you might have a really productive discussion as a result.
Excellent. Yeah, that is definitely my plan.
Okay. And then, I mean, just so I'm going to look at the things here. So, I mean, I think what I'm probably going to do tomorrow is create a round of Spocks. I still haven't. I mean, the Berkeley TA who's working on fixing up parts of the old course has done some of it, has done some of it, but not others. And I've said, maybe he'll follow up tonight. But anyway, particularly since Janet's not here, I mean, I will probably try and. I know there's some people's courses in India who've already started actually. So I'm basically going to plan to roll some Spocks tomorrow based on the latest versions of the courses and get those out of it. I assume sensibly. Shall I do one for you as well?
Sure, if it's little extra effort. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's, if I'm
eventually going to want it. I don't know.
if I'm doing a set of them,
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
And
So
the only thing I'd want to know is this the one that is going to be official, or is it just a test one?
well, I think we would, you that would to a certain extent be up to you. I mean, I think because what's going to happen now is on Thursday I'm off, and I'm gonna for my own sanity I need to take
Yeah.
step back from the computer for a week or so, and so some people are going to start using it based on. I mean, these Indian guys I think are going to be starting to use it based on this thing. So you could take a look at it, and it's going to be it's certainly going to be no worse than the version that you had for the spring,
Okay.
and will likely have many improvements. The fact that there may be this is what frustrates me about edX is that we may be able to make various improvements, but then my ability to distribute those improvements
Right.
to everyone is limited.
Right.
But I feel like I need to kind of get something out there for the number of people who are really sort of saying we need a thing, and yeah, so that's my plan there. Then in terms of working out the new meeting time, I guess we don't have a consensus. I guess what I would plan to do is would say next week off, and then I will follow up maybe with an email in a couple of weeks and say, and start, trying to discuss with people when that would be a good time. And we've basically got, apart from Janet and yourself, I've got 3 other people who are requesting Spocks, and then I don't know. It may well be that Reuven and Rose and Kristen and Emily will all want repeats. So I kind of need to follow up on and work out the exact list of who's doing it. That's the kind of main action item for me, really. And yeah, I mean, the other thing is I'm going to be looking like I'm going to be going full time with the boot camp from September as well. So yeah, I've got to, I want to make sure that I've got all of you guys set up and sorted before the start of September when that comes.
Okay. Okay. And the only thing sort of backtracking is that if one of us starts the session, then you said we're responsible for recording it, and that particular sort of screen or thing to click on, is that going to be obvious?
Yeah, I mean, well, at least the starting the broadcast button at the bottom of the screen is pretty obvious. Then, like, which of the multiple screens that you have that becomes the thing that's recorded, that you control by clicking on the icons at the bottom, which are like yourself or the other people.
Yeah, got
So
it.
it's funny. So would you like me to set this event to repeat at this time next week, and
Sure.
potentially you could take responsibility for running it? That.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, all right. That's that would be cool. I would be very interested, and then if then you can successfully do that, that's a great, stick in the sand or something of the technology is supporting that. So I think Sam is creates box.
Okay.
Check who needs them. Check. And then we've got Richard. And go on.
And I guess so. When I do the Hangout, the recording part, is it going to prompt me for like sort of information about it, or where it's going to be stored, or is that going to be?
No. I mean, it may. I think you'll be in one of two cases. It'll either just not work, which is fairly common, or it will work. Like
Okay.
What it is we found through various things is that you have to have a registered YouTube account associated with your Google Plus account in order for the recording to work, and then what will happen is it will get automatically stored on the YouTube account that you have associated with your Google Plus account.
Got it.
So and I think if it doesn't work, that's not the end of the world, but let's see how you see.
Right, that's good. I mean, if I had to do it over again at the beginning, I would have like just had you share the screen if that.
Yeah, I mean, what I can show you actually at the bottom, if I bring the screen onto here and we get this infinite. Well, hold on. I can show you the broadcast where the button is. Like, can you see here at the bottom? I have this red button.
Yeah, I see it.
Stop broadcast. Basically, when you come in the Hangout, it is there, and the same button is there, but it's green, and it says Start Broadcast. So that's and so if you have got your Google, I mean, a very long time ago, I had connected my YouTube account to my Google Plus account. So I don't even remember how I did that, and I think people tell me it's changed 8 times since I ever did it, and
I have some big recollection, and I'll do that right when we get
investigate that. I mean, there were some people who just complained that would never ever work for them, and who knows? But basically, I mean, the control is just this, clicking the stop and start, and then so you see here, I've got at the bottom here it says like view there. I've got that clicked, so it's got the white surround. And that basically locks my view to my view of myself here, and it also means that that's the thing that's getting recorded. But so if I click you here, then it has a white surround. It's now locked to you. If I click it again, you see how there are no white surrounds. And if you talk...
Got it. Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Right, it jumps back and forwards. But not only does it jump back and forwards, that's what's going to be recorded. So a very common thing in recorded sessions is that none of the different windows are clicked, and so you have this really jumpy video that's jumping backwards and forwards between the different people. But if you then click on one thing and you get the white surround, that means you've locked to that recording, and you'll get a consistent, that's the view of the screen. So the trick is, in the session as you're going along, that whatever the agenda is or the key thing that people are currently looking at, whichever window is in, you lock onto that one and remember to move around afterwards. Yeah, so what I was just going to do here was I was going to look in see, we had the events there, and did I just, I sent the link. I was just seeing if I could then go and, because I also sent, this is the link for the AutoGraders client meeting. I wonder if I can now edit the schedule for this to repeat. We will see if I can. We could say it repeats weekly, okay, on Tuesdays, and save it. And then, but the time is weird. Let's go and have a look. So here, so let's reload this page. So yeah, this is a bug actually with the editing feature. It resets the time.
Okay.
So we've got the repeat there is on Tuesday. It's funny how there's but so the same for your purposes next. I mean, I probably won't be available this time next week, but for your purposes, the same time next week makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I? Oh, I'm clicking return. Oh, go away. Oh, maybe that has worked. Okay. AutoGraders client meeting.
Got it.
Yes. So that says that Tuesday. Oh,
Okay,
Tuesday,
good.
yeah, that's actually correct, isn't it? Yeah, 4
Yeah.
p.m. UTC. Da, da, da. So yeah. So then, in principle, oh, he's losing it. This is what happened there. I'm confused now. Hmm? Oh, it's over here. Right. Um, in principle, then, see, what will happen now is after we finish our Hangout and after 2 hours, this link will expire and it'll go back into the state with the Start Hangout on Air button. So if you come to this page at the same time
Got
next
it.
week, you can click Start Hangout on Air, and it will also, what it will do, we've got it set up so it will automatically notify in the Slack. Was it in the AutoGraders channel? Yeah, so here, so it'll paste that link into the AutoGraders channel there. I think it also puts it into the pairing notifications and so on. But so you can take, and of course you can take that URL from the top here and send an email to the list. Like
And
share it
that's
with
open. Anyone that has that URL can join.
Yes, anybody who's got that URL in principle can, if they're as long as they're signed into Google Plus, they should in principle be able to join the session. Okay, cool. Well,
Because I
no,
can even play around with maybe getting some of my TAs involved.
yeah.
I don't know if I'll get it together by next week, but at least I'll have someone to talk to if no one else is there.
Right, absolutely.
Okay,
Well,
that all sounds good.
Yeah, but I'll send out an email letting people know that I'm going to be away and that you're going to run the session next week and encouraging them to kind of come and check out the new functionality with you. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Excellent. And enjoy your time off. And I guess email for non-critical stuff, I assume email is as good as anything?
Yeah, that'll be, yeah, and I'll be, I'm probably going to take a week off from trying to look at the email, but I'll come back on and, in the worst case, you can always email Amanda if there's some critical issue. Yeah.
Yeah, shouldn't be.
Good stuff. All right, take care, Richard. I'll see you maybe in a couple of weeks.
Very good. Enjoy your time.
Okay, likewise. Take care. Bye for now.